Hey, everybody, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're excited to present to you today's session. I am joined by Ben Perkins, who's a regional sales manager for the Western U.S., Andrew Rutkin, who's our field sales engineer, and myself, Phil Celia, regional sales manager for the Western U.S. as well. I cover the southern part of California, and Ben, my counterpart, up north. Today, we're going to be taking you outside of the conferencing space, a space where I know you all love us in. Today's goal is to give you some insight on some of the areas in which we deploy solutions, give you some ideas about where you can use the breadth of our product line. As you know, Biamp has been expanding over the last several years. We're doing far more than what we were doing several years ago. We're able to provide far more solutions. And this session is basically to do that. This is more of an application-oriented session, not a deep dive into products. You can advance the slide, Ben. Thanks. So first, refresher on our vision. So our vision is to connect people through extraordinary audiovisual experiences. And what we know that what's extraordinary today will not be extraordinary tomorrow. So we're always looking to move forward and see what else we could accomplish down the road. Next. So the what, where, and the why. Well, today this is specifically what this session is about. From rooms to buildings to campuses to enterprise. And throughout everything we do at Biamp, every product we bring to market, every program we put in place, any idea that we have, we follow our company philosophy of SEEK. Simplicity, is it simple? Efficient, will it be highly efficient? Will it be highly effective? Will it deliver a great experience? And can it connect us? And that's our guiding principle here at Biamp. And today, you'll see how we bring that principle all across these four areas. Next. So let's just start with an overview, and then we're going to dive into some specific areas where you'll see all this in action. But of course, our product summary, we have Tessera, which is our AV processing and distribution platform. We have our Parley microphones that complement that. We have the Sono high performance loudspeakers. We have Devio, which is our all-in-one Huddle room solution. And now we have Devio SCX, which can bring Devio into a medium and large room. We have Vocia, which we do paging and emergency communication. Sage View, which brings everything together in software control and commissioning. We do sound masking with Cambridge. We do event audience engagement with Crowd Mics, which turns every cell phone into a microphone. We do Modena, which is our wireless presentation systems, community loudspeakers. You all know Community. You know, Biamp purchased Community a number of years ago, and we have the full breadth of the Community line available to you as a Biamp dealer. And we've introduced certified bundle solutions for UC platforms, Teams, Google Meets, and Zoom. So we've got a wide range of products for an entire enterprise to deliver what we think are extraordinary solutions. Next. Next, yeah, and we serve a range of vertical markets. So keep this in mind when you're thinking Biamp. Of course, we're in business and we're in conference rooms and we're in meeting spaces, but you'll see today we're across whole campuses. We're in education. We've been doing a lot of classrooms since the events over the last year, a lot of distance learning, the long distance learning, applications, but we're in education fully and across an entire education campus. We do government, we do themed entertainment, we do sports venues, something that Community excels in. We do houses of worship projects. We're in healthcare. We have nurse call with Vocia. We do paging with Vocia. We do sound masking with Cambridge. With performance venues, transportation, hospitality, and yes, even retail. Retail and hospitality is something that, has been down over the last year, but you're going to see a real resurrection in that space in the coming months. Next. And we have solutions for every single one of these environments, from audience engagement to public address, distributed audio background music, networking audio, staging and entertainment, sound masking, and UC collaboration, rooms, buildings, and enterprise. This is just a few of the products that we have to address each and every one of these environments. Next. All right, so today, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on two of these vertical markets, which will encompass a wide range of applications for all of our Biamp products. We're going to look in business campuses and educational campuses. So universities, large business campuses that have a lot of areas where there is a need for a solution and a need for deployment. So next, please. All right, so to do that, I'm gonna introduce now Ben Perkins, and he's gonna take you through some specific areas in the business campus vertical. And then Andrew Rutkin is gonna take us through the educational campus educational campus vertical. How you like that, Andrew? And now let's take it away, Ben.
Thanks, Phil, and hey, everybody. Like Phil mentioned, I'm going to go over some, application-based spaces in the vertical market, just to, kind of show Biamp isn't just a one product company. We have solutions for all aspect of the business or corporate vertical, not just single rooms, but onward to the building and the campus and even the enterprise. We have solutions. So when we think of the spaces that are in a corporate campus, we've got meeting spaces or an all hands. These are rooms. Conference and huddle rooms, obviously, we're well known for our conferencing technology. We've got presentation spaces, maybe a theater that holds a bunch of people. Moving into the building aspect, there's various break rooms, dining areas, cafe spaces that often these days have more AV than they typically have had in the past. Moving into the entire campus, we have indoor and outdoor common areas that may need other aspects of a Biamp system. And then we can tie it all together with monitoring and management at the enterprise level. So not only is there the ability to see everything in one given campus, but if there's multiple locations, we can wrap our monitoring and management solution into the entire enterprise and have one point of reference for the entire enterprise. Now I'm just going to go through the wide range of solutions we have for the various spaces. So when we go back to the room and we think of a meeting space or an all-hands space, that's a great option, obviously, for Tessera and Parlay and Desono if you need to bring in some conferencing aspects for some foreign participants. But also we've got Modena, which is our technology that allows for wireless screen presentation and wireless USB capabilities. So for BYOD meeting spaces where someone brings their laptop in and wants to start a soft codec or a Zoom or a Teams or a meeting, they can facilitate on their laptop and use the USB audio AV equipment wirelessly through that. Also, CrowdMics is our audience participation platform where everybody's smartphone turns into a wireless mic that's able to be heard through the PA system. It's a managed system, so a moderator actually can facilitate one person speak at a time, but it really is a great solution for audience participation. Moving into conference and huddle rooms, this is where Biamp excels at. The new Devio SCX and Tessera Forte X bundles are a very flexible and easy to install solution in conference and huddle rooms. We also have the we'll call it version 1 of Devio, the SCR20 and SCR25, for those even smaller rooms where one microphone is needed. The Devio SCR and SCR25 is a really easy to deploy. You don't need software, all-in-one solution that offers USB ports as a hub, so that there's one connection to a BYOD device in a room. And again, Modena with the wireless screen presentation as well as wireless USB capabilities makes it a great option for those huddle rooms in a BYOD situation. So there's lots of options. Moving to bigger rooms, presentation theaters. This is where our community product can shine. Also our DeSono line with column arrays, or community with our, if it's a bigger space, we can do point source boxes like our IC or IP series. But again, crowd mics is a great fit here because we're able to facilitate a Q&A, live Q&A with people's smartphones rather than worrying about passing around a microphone. We also have ability to run a poll in the app, so the moderator can ask a question and everybody who's in the event will have that pop up on their smartphone and they'll be able to participate in a poll. So crowd mics is a great technology, especially as we're worried about shared services and talking into the same microphone as somebody else these days. And again, Modena, anytime we're wirelessly presenting to a projector or to a display, Modena is a great fit. And Modena also has sort of a one-to-many sharing solution where we can take a presentation and broadcast it out to up to 150 participants, cell phones or laptops if they are connected to the Modena as well. Going into the entire building, break rooms, dining areas, cafe spaces. Again, these are typically having more and more AV in them. So again, Tessera and DeSono are great options for distributed audio. Community, if it's a larger space or if there's some need for a different type of boxes that might need to have specific pattern control, community is a great fit for that. Indoor common areas and outdoor spaces, again, Tessera is a great option for the digital signal routing and processing involved. Community is known for their outdoor rated speakers. We have 15-year warranties on our outdoor rated product. And we'll also get into open office areas or building-wide paging systems with Cambridge and Bochia. Now we have an entire solution for a building and that might need to do phone paging through the phone system, sound masking in an open office area, and sound reinforcement in other areas. We have all the solutions. Finally, once we have all those solutions and we need to monitor them, we have various platforms, Tessera, Cambridge, Bochia, all those platforms, and we want to manage them across an enterprise. So that's where SageView comes in. It's the unified management system for all network connected Biamp devices. So everything from your Tesseras, your Devios, even your paging system and your sound masking can all report to our SageView platform. All you need is network access. You need the computer that's running SageView to have network access to those devices. And you have the ability to get status of every system that's connected to the network. You have the ability to push firmware updates remotely, deploy known good system configurations, put those into a schedule if you need to as well. It's a really a very broad monitoring and management offering for Biamp equipment. And if you already have a building management software, we have an API available for SageView that will allow you to import all of the AV equipment into any management software that can receive our API. So it's a very flexible platform. It's a great way for an enterprise to keep an eye on all their gear, regardless of where it is in the world. And with that, I will pass it over to Andrew, who will go over the vertical market.
All right, thanks, Ben. Education vertical market is probably the fastest growing segment for Biamp right now. It seems to be the one that's done or had the greatest growth under the whole COVID situation, as education is trying to adapt to remote learning and the kind of the new realities post and during COVID. So let's jump right into it, Ben. If you could advance that slide. So vertical market in education, it kind of follows a similar path to what Ben talked about. And really what I want to get across today is that the Biamp products scale up and down across that range, from the smallest applications like classrooms and things like boardrooms and conference rooms, and move up into the larger spaces like lecture halls and auditoriums, performing arts spaces, and even into the very large spaces that are multi-purpose building spaces, dining halls and cafes, cafeterias, and then even going outdoors and into the largest spaces you typically find on any kind of an educational campus: athletic facilities, gymnasiums, ball fields, baseball, football, soccer, softball, anything of that sort. And then finally, all the way up to the what we think of as the enterprise level of monitoring and management. And this can be especially applicable in higher ed, where many universities have distributed campuses and that will need to be able to monitor their equipment in outlying campuses, but also in the K-12 end of things, where from a school district-wide standpoint, we can have a common point that is able to monitor all the Biamp hardware in all of the various schools throughout a district. So let's jump right into the application side of it and what hardware might go where. That smallest level, classrooms, there's a wide variety of solutions from Biamp that fit into this kind of an environment, especially post-COVID, when the need for hybrid local and remote learning integration is especially important, where you have remote students or remote faculty that you have to bring into the classroom environment. So Tessera as a per room or centralized DSP, kind of fulfilling the task that it's originally designed for, of being the brains of a system that can do teleconferencing or local sound reinforcement. Parlay microphones with their beam tracking technology to get clean vocals to the other end of the transmission. DeSono speakers, which is a greatly expanded line these days, integrating products from both community and the acquisitions that Biamp has made over the last couple of years. That product line is now 48 models, and that's not counting color options. So we have ceiling mount speakers, surface mount speakers, pendant mount speakers, point source, column line arrays, subwoofers, pretty much everything you might need for this kind of an application. Ben talked quite a bit about Modena, so I'll just touch on that briefly. Very applicable in the education classroom environment, where the need to accommodate BYOD users who are just going to come in and want to be able to present or open a UC session using their own laptop or other device. And Modena allows you to not only do that completely wirelessly from the presenter's point of view, but also allows that presenter to share his screen with everybody else who's in the room. And crowd mics comes into play here, a great way for instructors to interact with pupils in the classroom. It allows the students to speak out and address the classroom. It also allows remote students to participate much more traditionally than they would over just a standard video teleconferencing link. So let's move on, Ben, to conference rooms and boardrooms. This is, again, it ends up being an application very similar to what Ben's already talked about in the business environment, where the strengths of the Tessera and Parlay and DeSono products really come together, especially in small, medium-sized conference rooms, where a bundle with a single SKU gets a complete kit of equipment that you need to set up your audio system. And especially with Debio, either the SCR20 or the new SCX versions, integration and commissioning, it couldn't be much simpler. Connect the hardware together, install it, of course, and push a single button, and the system basically sets itself up. And again, Modena comes into play with its ability to wirelessly interface a user laptop to the AV hardware that's in a room. And of course, the Biamp strengths in the UC field, being able to integrate seamlessly with Zoom, Teams, and Google Meets, all the various UC platforms that are out there, is a great strength that we can bring to these type of applications. And so let's talk about auditoriums and lecture halls. So this is something where I think a lot of people miss Tessera as an option. As at its core, Tessera is a general purpose DSP that we've added a lot of features to optimize it for video teleconferencing. But there are many different versions of the Tessera Forte product especially, and many different features you can add to the larger Tessera servers to adapt them or optimize them for general purpose DSP. Very powerful routing mixing capabilities, huge amounts of signal processing DSP, dynamics equalization, feedback control, and the ability to communicate with other hardware in a wide variety of formats, analog, AVB, Dante, even Cobranet for the vintage systems that are out there. And the acquisition of Community a couple of years ago dramatically increased the range of applications that Biamp can tackle in this type of an environment. Lots of people know Community as the go-to guys for high power outdoor speakers, but there are literally hundreds of loudspeaker and accessory SKUs in the Community line, ranging from the compact IC series with 6-inch woofers all the way up to the stadium-sized LVH that can put out over 140 dB at 1 meter. And especially applicable here is the IV6 line array, which I think is a great product for these kind of applications, partly because it was designed from the get-go, right from the ground up, as an installation product. It's not a rework touring product. The IV6 is intended specifically to be used in permanent installs and has a lot of features to optimize it for that, making wiring simpler, rigging, system design, pretty much every aspect of the technical part of the product, as well as aesthetics. It's very clean looking. DeSono, of course, will find its place in a lot of these types of rooms, smaller spaces, ancillary spaces, under balcony, lobbies, corridors, things of that sort. Crowd mics is a very powerful tool in this kind of environment because of the way it allows for improved audience engagement and interaction. Instead of having to pass a wireless microphone around for people to ask questions or make comments, everybody's got a microphone in their pocket. And Modena, of course, because the presentations are a big thing in these spaces, users can come in and wirelessly connect and present. And then performing arts centers are kind of a natural step up from this. A lot of similar characteristics. And again, you see in this picture, those are IB6s there on either side of the proscenium. And so not a lot of visible hardware like you typically see in a touring-based line array rig. Very clean looking, no available or no visible rigging at all. And in this case, I'm not sure if it's true in this particular application, but each of those arrays could be powered by a single amplifier channel. So very cost effective in addition to everything else. And again, Tessera DSP for signal processing, to Sonos speakers in ancillary areas, dressing rooms, things of that sort, and subwoofers from the community product line. A tremendous range of subwoofers, different package sizes, different amounts, different power levels to fit into pretty much any size venue and a lot of different locations. So let's see, next on our list here as we expand out into the building and away from individual rooms, dining and cafe spaces. So since these are often multi-purpose spaces, the Tessera and community product lines offer a lot of flexibility here. We also have control surfaces, the TechX products that allow for easy user interaction to change configurations, to go from daytime use, say as a cafeteria, to nighttime use to present movies or sports events, or maybe have a dance or something of that sort. And again, especially with the multi-purpose use of a lot of these spaces these days, Modena and crowd mics are great options to have to allow audience interaction and ease of connection for people who are coming in to use the hardware in the space. So we take a step up from that type of space into even larger areas. Next on our list, athletic facilities. So this area, especially outdoor facilities like baseball and football fields, has of course been a major strength for community speakers for many years. Very well known for that in the industry. The R and W series are basically legendary. They're the go-to choice for a tremendous number of integrators and facilities throughout the world. Bringing community into the Biamp fold allows for optimized one-stop shopping solutions for these type of systems. Tessera offers pre-configured DSP files for all of the community products. So instead of spending a lot of time adjusting DSP, getting things tweaked, it's much more plug and play. The range of community speakers from small point source systems all the way up to extremely high power voice only horn loaded systems. The choice of weather resistant, not weather resistant for indoor and outdoor facilities really cover the range from high school gymnasiums all the way up to major collegiate football stadium level sound systems. And with Tessera and the other Biamp power amplifier choices, we really do have a complete soup to nuts kind of a solution for these systems. So let's move out further into the campus-wide system and talk about indoor and outdoor common areas. The modularity, the flexibility, the networkability of Tessera DSP really lends itself well to these type of systems, where you might have a multi-acre, multi-building campus and you need integrated background music or other functions throughout the system, and the ability to adjust configurations to allow for multiple different uses in these areas too. The ability for Tessera to have multiple DSP devices integrated into a single program file is very powerful in these kind of applications. The community, of course, offers pretty much anything anybody could need, from the smallest to the largest, indoor, outdoor, highly weather resistant voice range, I'd be really surprised if somebody came up with an application that between Community and DeSono, we didn't have a loudspeaker solution for. And this is an area where the Cambridge products and Vocia products also really come into their own. Cambridge is another Biamp acquisition. I think Ben mentioned it briefly, that is very well known for their sound masking systems. And sound masking and speech privacy, another feature that the Cambridge offers, are often not something that comes to first to mind when in the educational world. But in open plan office areas where distractions from background conversations can be a problem, and especially in administrative areas where speech privacy becomes an important part of maintaining confidentiality of private personal information, they definitely have a lot of features to offer at a very effective price. The integration into the overall SageView system of control and monitoring is also another big plus. So let's talk a little bit more about that enterprise monitoring at the campus level or the enterprise level. SageView, and Ben, I'll just mention this briefly because Ben covered it very well. It's a very powerful tool for the folks in IT and AV departments who are responsible for keeping these increasingly complex and mission critical systems that are located both on campus and at remote locations operating. The ability to monitor the health and status of all the network connected Biamp gear is a very powerful tool to be able to offer to our customers and end users. SageView is something that is fairly unique in this industry, and it is, I think, underappreciated, but especially with the rising prevalence of IT departments controlling AV assets, this is something that they especially appreciate, this type of capability. I think that pretty much wraps it up for me talking about the education marketplace. So at this point, I am going to turn it back over to Phil.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody that this is being recorded. So if you joined late or missed any part of this presentation, you'll see it in an email where you could review it at any time. So in conclusion, we'll go to the next slide. You know, our goal today was to just simply, without diving specifically into each product, give you an overview that Biamp is much more now than it was in the past. And we provide far more leading solutions for all environments, those of which you see at the bottom of the screen now, from room, building, all the way up to enterprise. We have a vast array of products. I would encourage all of you to go to biamp.com and look at our products and our solutions. Visit our Cornerstone knowledge base, where you'll also find design templates and design tools. Next. And keep in mind always, and you could share this with your clients and your customers, that our goal is to connect people through extraordinary audiovisual experiences across all of these environments. And we use a SEEK philosophy of simplicity, efficiency, effectiveness, experiences, great experiences, and connectedness. Does it connect us all? Next slide. And we have a vast array of products, from Sarah to DeSono, to Parlay, Cambridge, Community. We have bundle solutions, UC certified bundle solutions. We have wireless presentation. We have paging. We have a whole gamut of amazing solutions for an entire enterprise that serve many vertical markets. Next. And that's it, I guess. So you hopefully you've got our goal today was to open up the thought process a little bit, think of Biamp a little bit outside of where you know and love us best, the conferencing room, meeting room space. Think of us in large system deployment. Think of us in casinos and ballparks and higher ed and everywhere that you would need a great AV solution from a great company. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Andrew. Have yourself a great rest of the day and a great weekend. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.